Good morning. Once again, good morning. Last night I was at the Santa Fe Bandstand and they had somebody signing, and I said, "Si hablo español, sabe hacer las señas en español también." Buenos días le de Dios. And it's more of a cultural thing than religious, so that you don't get offended. I don't mean to offend anyone. Buenos días le de Dios, and the response is, y que Dios te los dé feliz. And so that's what I came to say. That everybody should. I'm wishing you a very happy day, and I'm a kind of a spiritual guy, so I wanna be able to tell you also, from my heart, that I want to welcome you all here, and you know, thank you for being here. I'll be calling up some other members, but I want to say a couple of words first. I I was here back in 1970 something. I wasn't here 30 years, but I was here a couple of years after it started. And when I first started, I went into a portable where they had thrown all the GED books, and I met with the director, Patricia Bramlett, who taught me so much. She taught me so much, and she said, "I want you to go into that room, and I want you to make a library. I want you to get all the books and get them together. And as you get each book, I want you to study it to see what adult education is about and what it is." And that's what I did, and consequently, and Letty and Jim and all you guys who are with ABE, you know how much I love it. And she said, the way you're going to learn is, she said, the way you're going to learn is I want you to get on the board. So I was working here only 3 months, and I got elected as president of the board of the adult education department of the state organization, and I was there for 7 years, but I learned a lot. And maybe that's the same lesson I got here of saying, well, after you retire, maybe you can run for the board, and maybe you can learn something. It hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy. And you know what? I think that I keep on looking at the things that are there, and the ups and downs, and I always remember, and I really believe this, and you know Ernest and his guys, they all know that it's the students that matter, and we're all part of that. We're all from the secretaries to the people who are working outside, whatever. It's all part of, and I really believe that. I don't believe that there's a huge difference from Helen to anyone else. I mean, it's not that way. And to the board chair, I I look at myself not necessarily more as a board chair, but I look at myself more as one of you guys that has worked the trenches. I've worked the trenches. I've worked with the kids, and I've gotten some real great things, feedback and good feeling, and I wanted to express that because I've been through so many. I've been through all the presidents. I've known all the from Dr. Witter. You know, I love that man. I do, Nancy. He was a great guy, and I still remember the time that there was a meeting like this, and it was one of the last meetings that we had with Dr. Witter. And I don't know if John Pacheco will remember this, but he's there talking and saying, I want everybody to believe in the college, and if you don't believe in it, then don't stay here. We want you all to believe in it. And it was one of these powerful speeches. And then he said, I'd like to call Chris Abate up here. Oh my God. And so I'm sitting back there, and I don't know what was, if he's going to say, well, you're done okay job, and so I walk up, and he puts his arm around me. He puts his arm around me, and he reaches in, and he says, Chris, I want everybody to know, Chris was one of the only guys that gave me a Valentine card. And he pulls it out, and he shows it to me, and he gave it to me. you know, and it was, and I'm very proud to say that I played for his memorial service. I sang for his memorial service, and you know, I do. I'll never forget Dr. Witter, Nancy, and I do, and you know, just little things like that. I made it a point to meet people, you know, to meet even Vivolo, you know, Vivolo. I said, hey, Vivolo, I said, you grew up in New Jersey or New York, and I said, so did you get to go to all the rock and roll shows? And he said, I sure did. I said, well, wow, does that mean you have a good collection of me? He said, yeah. He says, I'll let you copy my cassette collection. You younger people don't know what cassettes are, but you know, so there, you know, I've been very proud when I worked here and now on the board to be able to you know, to be part of the college. I it's really difficult sometimes to get that, to continue and to, you know, but we've all been through that. We're all going through that. We've all been through that. You know, and if there's anything that, and this is not a BS type thing, serious. I really mean that, you know, that we can work through things that we're working through, and once again, it's the spirit. It's the spirit of who we're doing this for. I talked with Yash yesterday, and I told him that I was working with my grandsons that started school. And my grandson, he asked me, he said, Grandpa, what do you know about the speed of light? I said, I know a lot about the speed of light. And so we stayed talking, but that's, you know, to have that in a third grader, you know, and to have that spirit, we still have college students that feel that and that should continue that. And you know what? We've got some great teachers here, all the way from the GED and we do. Give yourself a hand. But you know what? Those teachers and those other, they can't make it unless we have great people that are part of our facilities. And I've always said this: the secretaries know more than anybody. You know, they really do. But anyway, I want you to know that Chris Abeta is part of the community college, and I've been part of the community college because when I left, or when I came back to Santa Fe, when I came back from Vietnam as a Vietnam vet, I told myself I don't want to work in a bank anymore. I want to play music, I want to sing, and I want to teach. And now that I'm 63 years old, I've done that. And I'm very proud to say that there's a lot of people in Santa Fe that have been my students. And God, Jim, you know how great it is, right? You do. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I'm sure many of you teachers, you see your students out there, and that to me is the best. So anyway, you know, we have, as part of our 30-year anniversary, I wasn't here for 30 years, but I was pert near, you know. And I'd like to recognize some of the folks that are here. First of all, and if you could come up. Randy, you want to come up with me, and you can help me if we can. On the board of directors, we had Jim Miller. And so, Dr. Jim Miller, if you would come on up, we would like to... Right, and he was also superintendent of schools, Santa Fe Public Schools, correct? Right. Yeah, and that's right. Yeah. So you're one of the main guys here too, and I would like to recognize your daughter. Was it Amy? Yeah, Amy. So. And Dr. Witters went back with 1973, 72, 83. Sorry. They're all the same. Nancy Witter. It's so good to have you guys here, Nancy. And right here, when I first started, Dr. Pacheco was the academic dean, correct? And then he became president, and then he married a good friend of mine, B. Pacheco. Well, she was Archuleta back then. But Dr. John Pacheco. there's so many folks that have been part of the college, and presently we have Martha Romero. Both she and I are on the board, and so Martha, if you just stand to be recognized. Amen. I even though he's not here, one of my good buddies, Chuck Pacheco, we actually play music together. He was on the board, and he always calls me. He says, "How's the board going?" I say, "Well, it's the board." He says, "Oh, I know, and it's that's the way it is." So so okay. So I'd like to see. Would you guys like to say something?
I'm the guy that started all this. There are two things I want to say about it. One was all of the things I had to do. I had to conduct 2 elections. I had to deal with the legislature. I had to deal with the Commission on Higher Education. It was a lot of work. And that was on top of my job as superintendent of schools in Santa Fe, which was a big job. And then before I finished all that, I had left that job in the middle of the year, and in early 1983, I became director of public school finance in the governor's office. By the time Bill Witter came to see me, he said, "Jim, I know you're going to be president of this new college." He said, "I want to work for you." And I said, "Bill, I'm sorry, but I've got my eye on another job already." And he said, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm sure." He said, "Well, in that case, I'm going to go after that presidency," and he got it. One other thing I want to say. I don't know how many of you in this room understand this, but if you'll think about American education starting from kindergarten through the PhD level at universities, there is only one thing that is an American idea: the community college. You are living an American ideal when you work at Santa Fe Community College.
Well, is it on? Okay. It's really good to be here. I have to tell you, when I drove in today is just as beautiful a day as God ever gave anybody, I think. And then driving into this campus and coming in here and thinking back through the years, and these wonderful people, there was a whole lot of idealism in the early days and a whole lot of vision. And you're the vision. You're the vision. And it just touches me deeply. The goal back then was for this institution to be the best it could be, do the most good it could do for this community and for its students. And it's doing it. And you all are living into that vision, expand that vision, help those students into their own visions. There couldn't be a more rewarding thing you can do in this life. And it's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Well, it's an honor for me as well. This place really has been a highlight of my life. Chris, I'm happy you haven't played for my memorial service. But, well, keep that open. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you very much.
I'd like to also, those of you who were here at the beginning, if you would stand up and just be recognized, please. You know who you are. Is Letty? Tina? Randy, were you here? Randy's already standing.
I got to make one comment in response to Chris's comments about the cassette tapes. When we started in 1983, I had an 8-track player in my car.
I forgot to say one thing. In the years to come, will you remember this? One thing Millie and I did when we left, I was a trustee and chairman of the trustees. Then we moved to Albuquerque. The biggest thing I've done for this college since was to establish a scholarship fund. Will you remember when you're out there in the world earning those big bucks? Help this college.
Once again, thank you for being here. Nancy and Jim and John, thank you for being here. I want you to really, once again, I hope that you're feeling my heart and my soul, okay? I hope that you are, that those of you who know me, and those of you who don't, get to know me, please, and if it's here at the cafeteria, or if it's, at also picking up a couple of chimichangas, I don't know, whatever. So I'd like to present Dr. Cha Guzman.
I thought that it was very important in this 30th anniversary to give credit where credit was due. And so thank you so much, founders, for coming and joining us. We're going to have a celebration, but before that, we're going to show a film. And I'm very excited to introduce our new film, which is called Of Dreams and Diplomas. As we look back over the past 30 years of the college, this video was produced by two of our film students, Gonzalo Lyon and Amrit Khalsa, who worked under the direction of film department faculty member Milton Reese, NPR director Janet Weiss, and television station director Doreen Gallegos. Thank you, narrator Marcos Maez, who has a lovely voice, and the production team. So let's give them a hand and let's look.
On January 19th, 1983, the opening day of the New Mexico legislature, Governor Tony Anaya gave his State of the State address. On that historic day, he gave his support for a bill to establish a community college in Santa Fe. The governor could not have dreamed where his pledge would lead and the countless lives it would change over the next 30 years. During the 1983 legislative session, Santa Fe lawmakers worked hard to pass a bill containing $1.5 million in startup funds for the college. The bill passed, but just barely. Even with the money, the real labor of establishing a community college in the state capital was just beginning. Before the college could get started, a grassroots citizens committee made up of business leaders, government officials, and education supporters needed to persuade local voters to approve a tax that would forevermore provide yearly operational money for the institution. Leading the charge for creating this new college was its first president, William C. Witter, who was hired in April of 1983. Dr. Witter was hailed as a visionary who would guide SFCC's growth and development for 10 years. Local voters approved the tax and Santa Fe Community College opened its doors. The first SFCC students and instructors met at temporary facilities around town until space was ready at the Joseph Valdez Industrial Park. The early curriculum featured courses that were well received throughout the community. In just 1 year, voters approved a $5 million bond to help SFCC construct a permanent campus. The Rancho Viejo partnership came forward with a proposal to dedicate some land to a permanent campus way out of town. It was $1 million gift and $1 million gamble. On September 12th, 1983, SFCC opened its doors to students for the first time, offering the community 19 degree and certificate programs. Enrollment that first semester was much higher than anyone could have predicted. more than 1,000 showed up to register, and the college's first small staff was overwhelmed. Santa Fe Community College's founders and contributors continue to put all of their collective energy toward the task of developing educational capacity in Santa Fe. Under Dr. Witter's leadership, the voters passed 4 bond issues and enrollment tripled. The campus grew and buildings were added. But sadly, in the college's 10th year, President Witter passed away. Today, the college that flourished under his spirited leadership remembers him through the building that bears his name. From 1995 through 2001, SFCC continued its growth spurt, adding new technical and occupational labs, a planetarium, and an early childhood development center. The beautifully designed Instructional Technology Center, with its floor-to-ceiling glass and circular meeting area, was a striking new centerpiece for the campus. By 2005, people were talking about a new, green economy that was on the horizon. Santa Fe Community College was listening. Sustainable technologies, green workforce, renewable energy, these weren't just words, but a solid trend that was building in the state capital. The college was ready to take a big leap forward. Clearly, if SFCC wanted to make a mark in education for new green jobs, another kind of green would be needed. At the same time, another trend was emerging, one that would require an equal investment in both funds and faith. Boomers were aging quickly, and local healthcare providers were getting nervous. Would there be enough nurses, technicians, EMTs? Forward-thinking President Sheila Ortego and board members took a deep breath. Many remember just a few years prior when voters turned the college's bond issue down. Would they support one now? The year was 2007, and the clock said now or never. The bar was set higher than ever before. $25 million to build a Trades and Advanced Technology Center and a new Health Sciences Center. That year, the campaign to create opportunity was put into full force. Fall of 2009 brought the highest enrollment ever. 6,862 students enrolled, many responding to the promise of new jobs in healthcare and the green economy. But the students and employers now ask the college for more education, that is. Innovative higher education centers were popping up around the country, places where the new breed of community college students, armed with their associate degrees, could walk across the street or right next door and enroll for a bachelor's degree. Maybe it was finally time for affordable, public, university-level programs in Santa Fe. SFCC could step up and make it happen. With enrollment soaring to new heights and 2 new showcase buildings, confidence in the community college in 2010 was higher than ever. But the new bond's price tag was $35 million, only $12 million of which would be slated for the compelling higher education center. The rest would go to alleviating traffic congestion on Richards Avenue, which was trying everyone's patience. Now college officials wondered if voters would also go for the rest of the package, which included plans to construct the state's first solar array on a college campus and the ever-exciting plant improvements and IT upgrades. Campus improvements are coming fast now. The Trades and Advanced Technology Center opened on May 6, 2011, and a pilot of the Higher Education Center was running in a few rooms clustered together in the lower level of the campus center. The permanent building for the HEC, however, had hit a snag. College officials were told that additional approvals were needed at the state level. After many attempts to overcome obstacles, on May 15, 2012, SFCC filed a lawsuit challenging the state's position on the Higher Education Center. Meanwhile, Dr. Sheila Ortego, who had led the college through 2 successful bond issues and firmly established the campus as a progressive institution, made plans to retire during the summer of 2012. A national search was on for a president who could build on her legacy while taking the college to new heights of success. The governing board found the right match in Dr. Ana Cha Guzman of Palo Alto College in San Antonio. Dr. Guzman brought new energy to the campus, fueled by passion for students and high performance standards across the institution. On November 6, 2012, First District Court Judge Raymond Ortiz ruled in favor of SFCC, and the Higher Education Center project was ready to get going. On a blustery spring day, more than 100 supporters, including state officials, celebrated the groundbreaking for the HEC. The building will open in 2015, and currently, partners including Highlands University, UNM, New Mexico State University, and the Institute of American Indian Arts offer classes to SFCC graduates. This year, SFCC celebrated commencement with the largest graduating class in its history. More than 700 graduates received degrees and certificates and heard a keynote address from Mayor Julian Castro of San Antonio, one of the nation's most inspiring young Hispanic leaders. From its humble beginnings in a warehouse building, SFCC now offers 102 degree and certificate programs to more than 6,500 students. Today, the college is poised as an economic engine at the center of cultural, technological, and civic affairs, helping people build stronger lives to move our community forward. Now it's time to look to the next 30 years, ones focused on fulfilling dreams, one student at a time. On January 19th,
Will all of those people that were involved in making this film please stand up so we can thank you? We've come a long way, as the film shows, and we have many, many things to be proud of. And so we thought before I gave the state of the college, we should celebrate and have cake. And so we will. Where's the cake, Janet?
Good question. I meant to make it last night.
You were doing the film, right? So, as Janet finds the cake, I want to thank Mrs. Witter, Dr. Pacheco, and the founder, the real founder. I'm so glad you came all the way from Albuquerque. We want to thank you for having the dream and for making it come true. And I want you to know that there have been many presidents, or a few presidents that preceded me. And I just want you to know how proud I am to be your president and to preside through this wonderful 30th anniversary. We shall celebrate, celebrate, and celebrate because there is much to celebrate. And next year, we will beat the number of graduates from 707. Can we go to 1,000? Can we go to 1,000? All right, let's make that commitment to make it 1,000 in the year 30th. Thank you so much, and let's go have some cake, and if we can't find it, we'll just drink water.
Al rey David, hoy por ser día de tu santo, te las cantamos aquí. Despierta, mi bien, despierta, mira que ya amaneció, ya los pajarillos cantan, la luna ya se metió. Qué linda está la mañana en que vengo a saludarte. Venimos todos con gusto y placer a felicitarte. El día en que tú naciste, nacieron todas las flores. En la pila del bautismo cantaron los ruiseñores. Ya viene amaneciendo y a la luz del día nos vio. Levántate de mañana, mira que ya amaneció. Congratulations, college. 30 years. Keep the spirit up.
Oh. Oh. Well, at graduation, the chair sang the introduction of the speaker. And so it's just very fitting that he would sing us the birthday song to welcome all of you. We have had a board member join us, Linda Siegel. Thank you for coming, Linda. And so we know that birds migrate, and we know that bears hibernate, and we also know that every August or September, wherever you may live, those yellow buses go running. And when those yellow buses go running, we know it's time for convocation. And I will tell you that I have been at this for 35 years. How many of you have been at this for 35 years or more? Ándale. All right? And so know that our 35-year-old enthusiasm is as great as it was the first year. But the best thing about it is that the fear is gone. The nervousness is gone. Because I know, and many of you who have been here for a long time know, that this is going to be a great year. That in September, we're going to get great kids, better than ever before. We always think this is the better year. These are the best students. And so it is with great pride that I want to go over last year. This is what I call my state of the college. I have been here for 11 months and 1 week, but who's counting? And so here we go. Let's talk about milestones and accomplishments. Remember last September, we had a successful accreditation. May the God bless us and may AQUIP bless us. And then HEC was stumped, and Judge Ortiz, Raymond Ortiz, said, "State, you can't delay them anymore. Santa Fe needs a higher education center," and we got it in January. And so wonderful things happened. So as a first year for me, I wanted to make sure that all of us came together and focused on what is most important in this college. And what is most important in this college is student success. It doesn't matter what else we do. If students aren't being successful, if students aren't graduating, then we're spinning our wheels. So let's talk about what student success initiatives we tried and how successful they were. The first year initiative had been first tried out at the Title V. In Title V, it was a 3-credit course, and I knew that a 1-credit course, the students would get just enough to help them stay here, just enough to gain the confidence that they need to know that this is not a college for others. This is a college for them, and it worked. Student success made all kinds of work very fast. We developed a book. It's called Paso a Paso, which those of you who may have college students going to college, you may purchase it at the bookstore. The students have said that they loved it and it worked for them. This year we're having a mandatory. That's going to be mandatory. Where we thought it would be good, now it's mandatory. And it's mandatory because it is our responsibility, if we know what things make a difference, to make them mandatory. Because we know better and we want to make our students successful. We had 17 certificate programs that were approved for federal financial aid. I don't know if anybody read Barbara Tucci's memo yesterday, but we were all kind of dancing. What she said is we're up 6%, and we haven't enrolled the dual credit yet. And so keep your fingers crossed and keep welcoming those students. We established a Center for Academic Transitions. That center is key in a community college, and it has become one of the College Board's best practices. And we started that. I started that 5 years ago at an unnamed college. And what that showed is that just as you parents who have had college kids guided them, asked them every semester, how many credits were they taking? How many credits did they pass? What were their grade point averages? That's what we must do with some students. Setting that up in January allowed us to have a 43% gain in graduation in 1 year. And we're not gonna lose that. We're gonna go for 1,000 this May. We're gonna go for 1,000, and I don't care how nervous everybody gets. Robert Shanking, leading the math department, has done a marvelous job of looking at how we were teaching mathematics here and saying, we need to make some changes. He revamped with other colleagues, with other mathematicians, Math 119 for non-science majors, and conducted brush-up workshops. What we know is that the kids that are taking the SAT and the SAT take all these expensive Kaplan courses. When our kids get here, they just take the test, cold, some with hangovers. And so if we do that, clearly we're gonna have lots of courses to retake. And so we started, and Robert led the math department in workshops. Those workshops have made a huge difference as to where the kids are being placed. What we know is that kids who are placed in the first math course do not stay here because it's too long, it's too far. But those courses are shortening the time, and you are not going to believe the difference that that's going to make in 1, 2, and 3 years. Because the kids who had no hope, because they had to stay here and take developmental after developmental, are being given an aid so that they don't have to do that anymore. So thank you, Robert. Stand up. The focus on student success also took some reorganization. And it is my experience that when you reorganize, it creates a bit of a havoc. But you know what? Presidents and leaders can't stay away from doing the right thing because of fear of havoc. We have to do the right thing for our kids. And so we reorganized. We lowered our administrative costs in instruction. We lowered them by $621,000. What did we do with that money? $520,000 have been reinvested. This is the first time in 7 years that we have gotten new faculty, and this is the first time in a decade that we have gotten 8. We started with 5, and we have found so many good ones that we added it to 8. 8 new FTEs in full-time faculty. We used to have 37% of the courses being taught by full-time faculty. Our goal is 50%. Our goal is 50%. And why? Because the data shows that full-time faculty, advise students, work with students, are here, and they will bring this college more life and investment in the students. We also needed some staff, because many of you said to me last year, we are expecting from work study students the work that technicians should be doing. And that's too much responsibility for the students, and they change every semester or every year. So it was really hard for the faculty who had labs to continue changing technicians. Therefore, we have added 2 technicians. We've added one in the library and in the School of Arts and Design. I'm sure the librarians are not excited about it at all. The IBEST program. I will tell you that we have one of the best workforce programs in the nation. And I think that a big part of it goes to Randy Grissom, who was the Dean of Workforce. And so thank you, Randy, for bringing IBEST. To me, after dual credit, IBEST is one of the greatest programs in education. What it does is it brings kids that have dropped out of high school and says to them, you know what? It's never too late. The program that we have will get you your GED and will get you a certificate. It'll get you a certificate in workforce. And we have expanded because we saw that it was making such a difference. This year, we're also going to have home health aid. We're going to have HVAC, early childhood education, and green construction. In 1 year, we graduated 39 students. Culinary arts was there last year, no. And so this was just the additions, but we'll add culinary arts and whatever else you want to add, talk to Randy and we'll add it. So, we invested our money, we worked hard. Did we get any results? Let's see. Improved productive grade rate in developmental studies. You participated in achieving the dream. And all of us know that it is at every step that we have to review whether the students are being successful or not. And here we go. In the developmental courses, 65% of the students the year before, 2 years ago, were passing developmental. This past year, it got up to 72%. In the gatekeeper courses, that is English, history, government, math. It's all the basic courses that you take the first year. 72% 2 years ago passed. This past year, 75%. From fall to spring retention, if they're not passing their courses, they're not going to stay. If they don't go from fall to spring, we lose them. And so, full-time students It went from 76%. We used to keep 76% of the same students from fall to spring. This past year, we upped it to 79%. I want to see 82 next year. For part-timers, which are much harder to keep, was even a greater gain. What this says is that the students are being advised. That the students are being advised in the welcome in the welcome center, and that the students are being advised by faculty, because it is faculty and staff that say to them, "What are you doing next semester? I want you here, and let me help you choose the courses that you can be good at." So let's look at some more. In 11-12, we graduated 487 students. Those of you who came, and I thank, because so many came, saw me standing through over 350 students, but it really was 707 if they all would have come. And next year, we're going to have 2 graduations, because we're going to have over 1,000 graduate, and we're going to have them all here. The number of degrees awarded. 2 years ago was 524. This year was 721, and probably still counting, because some forget to apply. But we'll give them a chance. Again, let's look at the completion. The research shows that if the students complete the first 15 hours, there seems to be some magic about completing the first 15 hours. And you know what it is. If you have completed 15 hours, then you're going to say, I got to go on. I can't waste that money. But we got to get them in by 15 hours. If we get them in, we're going to keep them in. 2 years ago, in the freshman cohort, there were 399 students that completed their 15 hours. This last year, it increased by 10% to 482. Look at the differences in the lines, in the blue lines. We're going to close that circle. We're going to close that circle. Establishing a process to update the strategic plan. I worked with Yash Marimoto, and he will be giving you updates. And we have waited to develop the strategies for implementing the strategic plan until there was faculty and staff that could work on it. The strategic plan has had over 1,633 people involved in developing. It truly is a work of the college, and a work of the college working with the community to guide us to newer heights in the next 30 years. The governance councils were established. In AQUIP, in Baldridge, continuous improvement is a basic tenet, as well as distributive leadership. What these councils have done is that they have had many people making decisions. What we are doing this next week is the council chairs are asking faculty and staff to send them items that they feel are important for their councils to discuss. It is the chair's responsibility to make the councils interesting and to ensure that decisions are made there that are important decisions to the college. It is the faculty and the staff's responsibility to attend. We need your attendance. We will be taking attendance because we will keep our promise to you to make them interesting and to have the kinds of decisions that you will feel a participation in the college business. The campus meetings with the president, I'm going to have just as many this year. I really believe that the president of a community college has to be accessible to faculty, has to be accessible to staff, and has to be accessible to students. And what I enjoy the most is when we have a discussion on curriculum development, on how we should develop our courses, on where we're going with majors. And so know that I will continue to have the forums for faculty and staff, that I will continue to have executive meetings, and that this year I will visit every council so that you and I can give you how important I think that the council that you're serving in is, and how you can help and run the college if you do a good job in the council. As far as technologies being implemented, we are working very hard, and we have a new Associate Vice President of Technology, Dr. Chris de la Rosa. People are saying he's working hard. Let's see. So we implemented the Banner Relationship Module. We implemented Banner Flexible Registration, Banner Data Warehouse, and he has promised me that before the year is over, no one is going to be using those blue sheets to put in the time that you're doing. It's going to be into the computers. And so let's see. We are developing the SFCC mobile app. We have upgraded the internet bandwidth, and we transitioned from Blackboard to Canvas. And my understanding is that for those of you faculty that have not taught a course in Canvas, it is much easier to teach in Canvas. It's a lot more simple. It is so simple that I'm going to take the course, and I will teach in Canvas. So let's talk about salaries. We implemented a new salary matrix for regular and adjunct faculty. For regular faculty, we added 3 steps. We went from 7 to 10 years. We now have a matrix for 9 months, 10.5 months, and 12 months. The minimum increase for faculty was 3%. The maximum was 15%. The adjunct salary matrix, we worked with the adjunct faculty and developed some levels based on pay hours. For the staff, we increased the compensation by 2.5% across the board, as well as implementing the compensation study, the staff compensation study. And it was really interesting because I had a meeting with the staff senate and with many staffers, and there was the belief that we would not implement the salary, that we would not implement the staff compensation study. And then they shared with us some lore of other staff compensation salary studies that had not been implemented. And I kept saying to you, we will implement this study because it will bring everyone to the best place where they can be and they should be in salary. And so staff, we implemented it, and the cost was over $400,000. In facilities management and sustainability projects, you know that we live in the city different, in one that wants to have a smaller and smaller carbon footprint. And so we have reduced our carbon footprint by installing energy-efficient chillers. I know that doesn't sound very sexy, but let me tell you, that less, yes. And we have a new director of facilities and management, Ron Moya. Where are you, Ron? There you go. We purchased boilers for recycling, and let's go swimming with me. The water quality will be better. The solar array, now that's sexy. We will be the only community college in New Mexico that will have 2. We budgeted for 1, and the technology got cheaper. And instead of changing the objectives of that $5 million that the bond gave us, we said, we will have 2. We will have 1 here at the college, and we will have 1 at the HEC. We will be the only community college with 2 in New Mexico. So where are we headed? Where should we go? I think most of you have had some time off to enjoy, and I'm going to take some time off in October. But this first year, I needed to be here. I needed to work with all of you, and I needed to be with you so that you could get to know me, and so that then we could work together. We could work together collegially, and find successes that we haven't found before. We're going to have mandatory advising. We're going to have integrated learning. We're going to expand the tutoring. Tutoring is of utmost importance to most of our students. We're going to have a new Veterans Resource Center. We have doubled the number of dual credit students, and one of the reasons why we did that is we are going out to the high schools to teach. The students at the high school will take dual credit, and I will bet you that we will continue to double as we work with the public schools to ensure that so many of their students. Dual credit is such a great opportunity, because if you go to the public schools and you talk to the kids, many of them don't think that they're college material. Many of them don't think that they're worthy. If they take dual credit, they know they're worthy. They know they can do it. And we will continue to grow, and we will continue to work. And I am working with Joel Boyd, and the public schools are going to turn around the dropout rate that we are experiencing in Santa Fe. And Santa Fe Community College will be the partner that the public schools need in order to cut that number that is just unacceptable in our community. Our communications will grow stronger. We will have focused meetings with staff. I will have focused meetings with staff and faculty going on what does shared governance mean? How can we have our own shared governance where faculty and staff are happy and fulfilled that they are working here and that they are following the path that they feel they have developed for themselves. AQUIP will be center. We have just hired someone that will replace Karen Looper, since she was in charge of the AQUIP. And so just know that I am here to work with you, that it is very important to me to make a difference in this community. And I know it's important to you. And so just know that we had a good year last year. We accomplished a lot. But the rumors were not helpful. And so make a commitment to yourself and make a commitment to Santa Fe Community College that what we're here to do is to make our students successful. What we're here to do is to get these kids to graduate. And what we're here to do is to help Santa Fe become the best different city that it can be, and that I am here, and I will stay here to work with you so that we can do that together. And so thank you so much for listening so well and for working with me this past year. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to call all the new faculty hires. As I call you, if you would please stand up, and then maybe even come up here so that people, so that the police won't stop you when you're trying to come in, and so that people will help you if you need help. So, David Sicko in history. David, are you here? There you go. Come on, David. Jeremy Fiedler in welding. Come on, David. John Pantano, math. And John was here a few years ago. See, I thought when I was interviewing him, he was Hispanic, and then he spoke Italian to me. So he's a pizza guy. Kate Barbie, medical assisting, phlebotomy and healthcare. Radu Alexandrescu, engineering. Russell Whitting, who came from staff. So staffers, you know you can be faculty. James Marshall, after many years of half-time, is now full-time. Eric Highfield, bioponic greenhouse management. Joanne Burns, kitchen and bath design. She has been an adjunct for many years. Luke Spangerbird is in charge of biofuels faculty. Come on up, Luke. When the coordinator technician in the film program left for a better job, I talked to the director and I said, what do you want? Another coordinator, or do you want a full-time staff? She said, give me another full-time staff. Milton Reese would be wonderful. Milton? In biology, we thought we were looking for one, and we found two that were so great, and so Stephen Gomez will be the new biology. Stephen? As you can see, Stephen dressed for the occasion. Steve Martinez went from adjunct to full-time in history. Come on up, Stephen. Daniel Kilpatrick, English faculty. And Jerry Dakin, from staff to faculty. Come on up, Jerry. These are brand new FTEs. And the sacrifice that we made last year that produced $620,000 is right up here. And they will work with you, they will work with us, they will work with the students, and all of us will have wonderful full-time faculty that will bring us ahead. The replacements were Annabelle Black in teacher education. Come on up, Annabelle. Andrea Sasa in Legal Studies. Is she not the best-looking lawyer you've ever seen? Kate McCahill, English Speech and Reading. Lisa Wolf in Nursing. Lisa is a psychiatric nurse, and during the interview, she made me cry. So she must really think your president is stable. And Tracy Roberts, math. Tracy was in English, and he came over to math. So, no, that's another one. That was Daniel. All right, Tracy, if you're here, come on up. We have 2 more faculty that are new, but they are teaching elsewhere, and they will be here in January, and you will get to meet them. Thank you so much, all of you. Is the staff ready? We're going to call out the new staff. And there are even more new staff, the new faculty. Alex Martinez, Administrative Assistant in OIT. Oh, okay. If you will come over all the way here. Yes, sir. Barbara Griego, Institutional Researcher. Let me see your fingers, Barbara. I have heard you're just working to death. My nails Barbara Sandoval, Senior Cashier in the cashier's office. She's there taking money, right? That's where we need her. That's where we need her. Brian Zemer, our new CFO in Finance and Administration. And let me assure you, he knows how to count. Christina Harrelson, Lifeguard and Aquatics. And Christopher De La Rosa, CIO. He's probably the youngest CIO in New Mexico. Danny Suazo, Title V Advisor. Delpha Maunders, clerk in the bookstore. Chris Getter, Security, Office Safety. Donna Wells, she is the Executive Assistant to the Board of Directors. Thank you, Donna. Ed Davidson, the main operator, telephone operator. He's probably answering the millions of calls that we get in August. Francis Gingras, Temp Construction Site Manager, Youth Build Program. Gerard Martinez, Career Tech Advisor, TATC. Jennifer Nolette, First Year Academic Advisor. Jill Carlson, Director, Assessment and Accreditation, Planning and Institutional Effectiveness. Joe Zamora, Plumber, Physical Plant Operations. And I don't see Linda. Linda Two Bowls. who is an administrative assistant in my office, and she's wonderful. Richard Douglas, custodian, physical plant operations. Robert David Leonard, lifeguard aquatics. Ron Moya, director of physical plant operations. Sarah Martinez, main telephone operator also. So these are the new staff. Who? No, I got it. So this is the new staff. Treat them kindly. Treat them kindly for at least a month. Give them a month, honey. Be nice to them, and then you can do whatever you want with them. Welcome to SFCC. So transfers and promotions, it continues. We believe in promoting from within. Many of the jobs that have been advertised this year have only been advertised from within. I believe that we have great staff, and therefore we will tap our great staff for bigger and better jobs. Audrey Lucero was promoted to Academic Information Program Specialist. If you're here, come on up. Carlos Valladares was promoted. In my next life, I'm going to be in student development. Jenny Landon to Dean of School of Health, Math and Sciences. Lucia Lucero, Executive Assistant, Department of Academic Affairs. Margaret Peters to Dean. Patricia Finn to Dean. Ted Boeter, lead lifeguard aquatics. Carmen Angel, director of nursing. And Marilee Gustafson, senior administrator. This is the new leadership. This is the leadership that will take us to bigger and better places. I trust this leadership. I trust all of you to work with me. And I vow that working together, we will make SFCC the best college in the nation. Thank you, new leadership. So when I got here, there was a category of employees that I had never heard of. Do you remember what that category was? Staffalty. And they would come to the staff meetings and the faculty meetings. And I thought, we have to do something about this. And so we did. The staffalty, who is now faculty, 12-month faculty, I will call Amar Nayar in dental. I saw her before. David Huckabee, EMS. Heidi Weingart in medical assisting and phlebotomy. Ramar Jetty, respiratory therapy faculty. and Rebecca Jeffs, respiratory therapy faculty. But at least the respiratory people are here. Where's Heidi? Well, come on up. You gotta come up. See, you can't hide in this place, can you? Can't hide in this place. Thank you so much. I didn't want a new category, I wanted faculty, so there you are. There you are. So, it's been 30 years. And many of us might have been 10, 30 years ago, but many of us were 40, 30 years ago. And so it doesn't matter how old we were 30 years ago. What matters is that we are all here. That we're all here at this very special 30-year anniversary where we can make a difference, where we will make a difference, and we will show SFCC how well we can work together and accomplish the things that our students deserve. Muchísimas gracias. Go and work and have a great year. Thank you.